Hey everybody, welcome to the Double Stuff Podcast. We're double the host, double the topics, double the fun, and I am Sarah.
I am Charity.
I'm Alan.
And I am Dan.
I love Alan doing his Three Stooges, snapping a hit.
That's right.
I'll just poke you in the eye afterwards. So this is our middle of the summer series. So I hope you've been enjoying our July and August fun so far. So it's summer. I figure let's just play a Would You Rather game for the fun of it because it's summer and we want to do something like
And
that.
it's hot and we don't feel like doing anything else.
Yeah.
Would I rather not be in the summer?
It's like, but would you rather not be in the summer or just in the winter time? So
Yes.
each of us has a round of just a bunch of questions that we're going to ask each other into a Would You Rather game. And so that's going to be our game for the full episode. So let's see what kind of fun ensues.
All right.
And you can't
summer.
think about the answer too much. You have to give your
Yeah, it
first.
has to be-
Good.
Yeah.
And, a quick response. So I'll go ahead and start this one. I'll do this with you, Alan. This sounds
Okay.
like a question that you should answer.
All right.
All right, Alan.
Yeah.
Would you rather swim in a pool filled with fruit salad or ice
We're always
cream?
swimming in food. That's what
Yeah.
happened last time.
It was last time. It was cranberry sauce last time. So would you rather swim in a pool that's filled with fruit salad or a pool that's filled with ice cream?
Ice cream.
Hypothermia, man.
Yeah.
That's true. You would freeze all over. What kind of ice cream? If you must dive into a flavor.
The first thing that pops in my mind is it's gonna be vanilla.
Okay, that'll
Yeah.
work. Be
Yeah.
nice and sticky all over.
Chocolate chip
Yeah.
cookie does. You have something to grab onto.
Oh, that's a good one.
Dan's
Yeah.
thought about this, yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird practicality. If I'm
See?
going to dive into a
With
pool.
all the
Yeah.
human sprinkles on top of the ice cream.
Yeah.
What a weird way to say that.
Yeah.
What a sprinkling of human.
Yeah, when you were saying that, like, what could I eat myself out of? Because I had just recently watched.
Brain freeze.
Well, do you remember the? I think it was in the '80s. It might have been early '90s. It was Rick Moranis' film. It was Strange Brew. It was about the McKenzie brothers.
Yes,
The McKenzie
yes,
brothers,
I
yeah.
actually watched that.
And he was trapped.
I did.
They were going to try to kill him in a vat of beer by filling it up with beer. And
Yes.
he drank it all.
Yeah, because the voice of the dad was Mel Blanc.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So. random
Anyway,
tidbit of information.
I think I would do vanilla soft serve.
Oh, vanilla salt. Yeah, because it wouldn't.
That's easier to swim in.
Yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be hard to swim in like a thing full of briars. You know,
Yeah.
just a hard.
By that
block.
point, you can just walk on water like Jesus. You
Just
You
like-
could,
True.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah, you don't want to dive into that, though.
Hey, as long as it's not a
concussion.
blizzard, you're never getting out of that.
Oh, that's
I can tip
true.
you upside down and shake you.
That's true.
Holding on for dear life on that spoon or straw. All right, so that's my question to you. Okay, anybody else?
Well, Alan gets asked the next question.
Well, I have something that's I'll bounce it right back to you. So it's
Okay.
kind of pool related. Would you rather dive off the high diving board or just do a random belly flop?
Ooh, probably. I don't like the sound of a belly flop, but I don't really like diving boards, so I'd probably do a belly flop.
Really? I thought that it
no.
would be just a no-brainer just to go up as high as you can. Belly flops are terrible.
They're awful.
No, but
Belly
heights
flops are short distance.
is shorter. I mean, you could probably do a belly flop from a height. You know, have you seen that? It's like a sport where it's like Olympic belly flop.
I have
like,
seen
they,
memes
and
of
they're
that,
on these
yeah.
high
It's like
diving.
an Ocho thing.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And they're doing like all these cool flips, but they have to end in a belly flop.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you see a picture afterwards, and their whole front half of the
Yeah.
body is
It's like-
red or hot pink, and I'm
I've-
like, that looks terrible.
I remember probably the last belly flop I did was a few years ago or something, and I remember staying underwater for what seemed like 30 seconds just so I could scream and nobody hear because it hurt so bad. And then when I came up, they're like, "Oh man, did that hurt?" No, that's not. What are you talking about? I landed it.
Be like,
Ten out of ten.
that's water dripping
Yeah,
yeah, I
down
was
my
gonna
face.
say, in the pool, no one can tell you're crying.
Yeah. Those are tears.
Exactly. Oh, you're all right. I'm
Sunburned.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a lie.
In the deep end,
I'm
no
only
one can hear you
sunburned on my
scream.
stomach down.
One side.
Just remind me next time to wake up and flip over.
That's right. That's right.
You guys are jerks.
I feel like if I did a belly flop, it would just be ironically because I don't know how to dive.
Yeah.
It would just end up being like that because I can't do it correctly.
It'd be an accident.
Okay, then maybe you've never done a belly flop, because if you've done a belly
Oh,
flop,
you would
it's
feel
the
it.
worst.
Yeah.
I've been too scared to do a diving board ever since I was a kid.
Okay.
Really?
I've never done a diving board. The most I do, I just kind of ease into the water like a. I've been doing that since I was a kid.
Are you the person that gets to the end of the diving board and then immediately regrets it and starts to turn around, but there's people waiting to like get onto the diving board? You're like,
I never.
I'm gonna climb off the board.
Oh my
into
gosh,
the water.
it's so funny. People
never
would,
even
like,
got to
sit
that
on
point.
the edge of the diving
Yeah.
board. They kind of like inch themselves off of it. And the whole thing's just like.
I never even got to that point.
Okay.
I remember that. Yeah, usually because I got as far as like when I was a toddler, where you sit on the edge of the pool and you fold your arms
Yeah.
in. That's as far as I've
The
gone.
old YMCA swimming lesson.
Yep, the old YMCA swimming lessons from like when I was 6.
That's interesting.
So I've never actually dived into a pool.
Yeah, I think the last high dive was at a YMCA that I was at when I was a kid, and I remember it being like 10 stories up.
Yeah.
you know,
That's what
it
it
was
feels
probably
like,
only
right?
10 feet,
Yep.
but I mean, it was
It's high
up
enough.
there.
Ooh.
I love high
And it
dives.
was thrilling.
It's so fun.
It was so thrilling.
Now my feet probably would have been tingling the whole time.
They were, but I mean, that's part of the thrill, I think. Anyway,
What, fear?
yeah, yeah. Fear knowing that you're going to be okay. I mean, you don't start on the high dive.
Yeah.
Right next to it's the low dive.
Oh, I probably talked about this before, but at my pool we had a 9-foot area when I was a lifeguard, and then we had a high stand that we would dive off of for fun, just like after hours. But the diving board was next to it, and what some people do, not me, would jump from the high stand, hit the edge of the diving board, get wicked air, and then go in.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
Oh.
I
I was
bet.
too scared. I knew I'd miss. Like
Yeah.
every single time I was up there, I was like, I don't know how you guys are hitting this, because I would
Yeah.
whiff it completely.
Yeah, and I don't know about the pool that you were in, but when I was growing up, the diving board was sandpaper on top.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was the same
Oh yeah, it was kind of. It was very rough.
It's
Yep.
so rough.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's probably
No.
good. That way you don't just slip and bust your
Well,
head open on
and
the
that's
side.
the thing.
I think
Yeah.
it's a safety issue.
But yeah, if you slipped or misjudged
Oh,
or
yeah.
something, you would get
Oh, yeah.
a little
It'd
bit
rough
of
you
rash.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A nice memory of your day at the pool.
a war wound.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll do one more. I'll do one for you, Dan.
All right.
Oh, well, this kind of goes up your alley. Would you rather work as a lifeguard or a summer camp counselor?
Our lifeguard. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lifeguard. You could just you're by yourself. You
Yeah.
just watch people. You don't have to interact with anybody. Lifeguard all the way. I mean, if you do have to interact with anybody, it's a problem. But
Oh, I gotta save
lifeguard's
their
great.
life.
Exactly.
Well, I get to blow a whistle. That's fun.
You get to blow a whistle? Yeah, no, forget camp. I've never been
No
to summer camp, so I don't know that, but no camp counselor for me. I saw Friday the 13th too many
Yeah.
times, so lifeguard all the way.
Extreme. Me and Charity have worked at a few summer camps. But I was mainly just the awkward assistant, or I would help with lunches and then clean the kitchens. It's not
Yeah.
like I guess I really wasn't like a counselor. I guess I was a counselor by paycheck, but not by what I was actually doing.
I was never a counselor. I was just a videographer.
Oh,
for camp.
videographer. That's right.
You weren't doing any counseling though.
No, I probably needed it after camp, though.
Jimmy, what are you doing? Put your shoes on.
Put your clothes back on.
Yeah, clothes. Yeah, okay, you can do that too. Jimmy.
All right, your
All
turn.
right,
Dan.
so Charity,
Yeah.
would you rather fly a kite or climb a tree?
Climb a tree.
Oh, really?
I've never successfully flown a kite. It's always been.
A kite seems safer than a tree.
It's been like a Charlie Brown situation.
Yeah, well, I didn't even get it high enough in the air.
Bite out of it. The kite in the tree.
No, I never even got it in the air to get caught in the tree. Like, even on a
Oh.
windy day, I can't fly a kite. It's embarrassing. It'll just like, yeah.
Yeah, because I think we told this before. Yeah, when we were little, yeah, our dad bought us a few kites, and maybe because it wasn't the most windy of days, you know, because on cartoons you just run and it just
goes?
up. And I was like, it's not working like on TV.
Well, on TV, it's like a helium kite. It just flies up by
It's
itself.
high. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with our dad's house, I thought we were able to get it off the air once.
That purple Mickey Mouse kite, mine did not go anywhere. It hit the ground really fast. I remember that kite.
Aw.
In that
I'm
case,
still bitter about that kite.
okay, in that case, maybe it was just my kite then.
Disney was against me.
My father should have invested in kite like manufacturing, because he got every single kite stuck in a tree.
Really?
Every single time we go out.
got that Charlie
we
Brown
never had
luck.
a kite for more than like 2 days. Because we'd be trying, we'd be like, oh, I can't get it to fly, whatever. He'd be like, let me see it. We'd be in the middle of a field, literally a football field, like practice field, with like nothing around except for trees on the very edge. Right into the tree.
Really?
Every time.
I will say the kite industry had a big resurgence during lockdown.
During COVID,
did
yeah.
they?
I saw so many people flying kites.
Really?
I was like, I didn't even know people were still making those things.
People weren't shooting them out of the air. Ah!
Ah! Well, okay. But from what I witnessed, no. But
China spy balloon.
That's right.
Get it, Carl.
who's to say?
Not on my watch.
This is Kansas.
Daddy, what happened to my kite?
Son, it had to go. That traitorous piece of information gathering, COVID filtering, COVID sprinkling,
5G spreading.
5G spread. Had to go.
America.
That's right. Why did my kite have to go? We ain't getting any chips in our brains. Not on my watch.
You guys are terrible. Okay.
I've only ever had good experience flying
Yeah?
kites. Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Well,
Lucky.
Yeah.
No, I
no,
used
it's
to
that complicated.
I used to climb trees as a kid. I was always on the monkey bars.
that's
and I was
true.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was my thing. Yeah,
That's true. Trendy was the climber in the group.
I was.
The
Yes.
human spider.
All right. Okay, Dan, I'm gonna throw this one back
All
to
right.
you. Would you rather run through the sprinklers or get shot with squirt guns?
Sprinklers.
There you go.
Sprinklers.
I think sprinklers. That seems safer. I
Well,
guess.
No, I'm changing my mind. It's squirt guns.
Yeah, squirt.
I like shooting people.
Well,
Squirt
with
guns
water.
are not getting gray water.
Yeah, it's true. Squirt guns. I'm changing it.
Yeah.
you just say squirt guns and not like big old super soakers.
Well,
you
I
know?
mean, you can put whatever you want. I
Sprinklers
mean,
seem like a fun thing, and then once you do it like 3 or 4 times, it's like,
the
oh,
novelty's gone.
kind of the
Oh,
same.
okay. I'm thinking of like
Oh, those
Like a
water
splash
the
pad?
Splash pads.
no, I'm thinking of sprinklers like for lawn.
That's what I was thinking of too.
Oh,
Like
okay.
sprinklers,
Oh, yeah.
like it's like
Yeah,
Yeah.
like back and
I
forth or
wasn't
whatever.
thinking that though. I was
And then you
thinking of
jump
like
over 'em.
modern like programmed to come up. At
Oh,
this
they're like
and yeah. No, not even that. Just like the
Just
the
the
kind
regular
that are
ones.
on the edge of properties. That
Oh,
spread
okay.
in.
Yeah. No.
oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those
I
squirt
didn't
guns.
think about those.
No, that's
I think
not
the
nearly
wisest
as
sprinklers in the
fun.
first place.
Okay, but yeah, one of those wavy.
Yeah.
that goes right
That's
to
where my
left.
mind
Yeah.
went to, and I was like, well, that was
Those
fun
were-
when I was a kid.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun. That
But
was
also
fun.
shooting people with water is a lot of fun. So
Yeah,
it's
a
like,
lot of fun.
yeah.
Now we didn't use we did used to play in the sprinklers a lot when we were kids. What was more fun is when we would take our bikes right around the neighborhood and find everybody else's neighbors that were doing that and try to ride under the bike under the water without getting wet.
Oh
Ah.
yeah,
That
became a
was-
game.
That was a
Timing
game
it.
we used to do. And
If
then-
you got wet, you lost.
or something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
So it was like this dodge, try to avoid try to avoid the sprinklers because.
But
that's
we
what
would always
did.
get wet, so like we would all three be wet and be like, "You lost." Well, how can you tell? Everybody's dripping wet from the sprinklers.
That was the way our logic get. Yeah. Oh, really quick though, talk about the squirt gun thing. I don't know if you remember this, Jerry. There was a place we used to go to called Fun City. I don't think it's even around anymore. And
wasn't that fun?
I should have saw that coming. But they would do like arcade stuff and laser tag and all
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
No, I remember because we were the only ones in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they did a laser. Instead of laser tag, you would play it with squirt guns.
Oh, whoa!
That-
Inside?
and It was
Wow.
indoor.
Which is probably why it was in the 90s. That's a dangerous game to
Yeah.
play.
it was so much fun.
I bet.
And the thing is that, but you had to pay for a refill
What?
for water. So what we would do, we weren't even sneaky about it. We would run into the bathroom, fill it up in the faucet,
There you
of
go.
course, and it would just be never-ending water. 'Cause, yeah,
Which that was our dad's idea too. So it wasn't even
was our
like we were being. My dad was just like, go to the bathroom and put it in the faucet.
it wasn't like I'm not going to pay for a
I want to
refill.
play that. You have like a bandolier of water balloons
Yeah.
like on your chest.
I remember that was a fun memory of just playing
Yeah.
like laser squirt gun tag or whatever. That was a lot of fun. So all right,
I think it's my turn then, Sarah.
yes.
Would you rather go fishing or water skiing?
Probably water skiing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the patience for fishing.
We did fishing when we were 8.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that didn't work.
That was a failed
That
experience.
was around the same time with the kites. Both of those were fails.
How are you guys screwing up?
No, okay.
flying a kite and fishing.
So my dad at some point, I feel like when I was maybe 7 or 8, which you would have been 10 or whatever, our dad had gotten to this like, we need to spend family time together, and so he did take us fishing a few times, which was an epic fail. The kite flying was a complete fail.
That was also the time when Mother was out, and then I think she was pregnant with Christy, so I think he wanted to spend time with us before Christy
before
arrived.
the baby came. Yeah.
It was one of those things,
but
yeah.
it wasn't like we didn't have fun. Like, even though we couldn't get the kite up,
Okay.
like, it was fun just to be
Okay.
together.
Just
But the
father-daughter
activities were a complete fail.
I wonder if he even remembers that. Like, if he brings us like, remember when we tried to go fishing?
He's probably blocked it from his memory.
I mean, all
There's
the,
no marlins in that pond. Sorry, girls.
I remember we were trying to catch bluegill. I remember, and
Yeah.
then there was a bait and tackle shop that we went.
That's a good
and-
beginner level.
I'm
fish to
I'm
go
assuming
for.
someone probably told him about it. That's how he knew. So we got a little container of
Night crawlers.
yeah,
Okay.
and so. After a while, I think the ducks and other creatures in the water were eating them. We weren't getting any fish. Everyone was like, "Oh, free food," So
I
we
think
didn't
the
catch
fish were smart enough to like get it off the hook, because like we would
Yes.
put it there and we'd be like, "Where's my
and
bait?"
the worm would be gone. Yeah, so yeah, the fish. It was like some Looney Tune fish. Like they knew what was going on. So yeah, so I've never water skied, but that'd be interesting to see if I could do it.
Oh, I'd love
It's
to
the
watch you
most
water ski.
Frustrating
Yeah.
thing to learn how to do, and then once you get up, it's exhilarating.
I feel like it would result in a belly flop based on the question. we
Yeah,
did
you wanted
earlier.
Sarah to belly flop correctly. That would be
Oh
the
my
time
gosh.
to do it.
Because if you don't let go, that's the first thing. Like, if you don't let go of the rope and
Yeah.
your skis tip into the water, you smack the water so hard. It's ridiculous.
I've
Now,
heard-
that's
I've heard-
a true belly flop.
I've heard stories.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
to the point where like you're seeing stars. You're like, I'm done. I'm done.
Oh man, that bad.
Have you ever
Yeah.
been tubing?
I was gonna say I'd rather go tubing.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
We went tubing in Jamaica, and it did not. It worked out fine for me. It did not work out fine for Sally.
Oh, did she get
'cause
bruised?
it was two, like, so it was basically there was one line and then it split off and there was two tubes, so you can go like
Okay.
together. 'Cause,
Yeah,
everything's
yeah.
like couples based, right?
Yeah.
So we're each on one and we're going and like hitting, like the waves
It's
and like
rough
holding
on
on,
the-
and we're sitting up in it. We didn't like lay down or anything because we didn't want to like spray in the face.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest mistake.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then
Oh, no.
we're going and we take this turn and all of a sudden we crash together and I'm like trying to like wipe the thing and I look over there and there's just like a tube just flopping. No Sally. Anywhere. Yeah, she hit me and just went flying. From what I understand.
Oh, here lies Sally.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad she made it out
made it
safely.
back.
Well, the problem is too is when you're out in like the ocean or any place that you can't touch, right? It's hard to get back up on the tube once you get off.
Of course,
Yeah.
it's near
It's almost
impossible.
impossible.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I hope there's nothing looking up right now.
But,
Yeah.
Based off of what we talked about a couple weeks ago. All right.
Wowzers.
So is it me? No,
Yep.
no. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is me. I'll go to you, Charity.
Yep.
Based off of last week's episode, would you rather eat 5 snow cones or 5 ice cream cones every day?
I think I would rather eat 5 snow cones.
'Cause
And-
they-
Well,
yeah,
I think
melt
in
quicker, I guess.
I think in my mind the sugar content would be less.
What,
Oh, you're
that's
going
a very
caloric
that's a
intake?
very adult thing to say.
Well, I mean, it's mostly water and like syrup, and so I feel like I wouldn't get diabetes from a snow cone.
5 ice creams is a lot.
it's a lot
Yeah.
every
Yeah,
day.
every single day.
Yeah. So at least I feel like I'd be getting my water intake through a snow
What I
cone.
want and what I should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Well, what about you guys? Ice cream or snow cones? Do you have a preference
I don't
every
know.
single
I'd get
day?
tired of it. I'm not an ice cream every day type of guy, though.
Yeah. I mean,
That
I'd
has
want
changed.
ice cream.
Yeah.
But
You want
have-
it-
I'd want to have ice cream, but you gotta get your water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Your melted ice. That's basically yeah.
People have that every day, don't they? Like they put in the like Crystal Light or whatever into their
Oh,
water
yeah.
to make it taste better. That's
That's
basically
true.
just a snow cone, right?
Oh, this is
Well, now
such
they
an
even
adulting
have like
answer.
the little dispensable like squirt.
little
thing.
squirt
little
things.
Mio
Yeah, that
squirty
looks like a
balls.
snow
The
cone.
Mio, the Mio, yeah.
Everybody's drinking snow cones.
So snow
true.
cones would be my answer.
Melted snow cones.
with no
Alan, question for you.
Okay.
Would you rather have mosquito immunity or bee immunity?
Bee immunity.
Yeah. Have you ever been stung?
I have, and I don't know if it was the first time, but it was the worst time. I was playing a baseball game, and for some reason I had taken off my baseball cap, and then I had put it on, and I felt something kind of crawling around my headband.
There was a bee in your bonnet.
There was a bee in my bonnet, and as it exited, it stung me at the tip of my ear, the top part of my ear.
Oh.
And it swelled up, and it was the most uncomfortable for 2 or 3 nights. Like I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
and you probably slept on that. You typically slept on the side of the.
I'm a
Well,
flip
he did that
flopper.
night.
I'm
you're
not.
all over the
yeah,
place.
I've tried in the past to try to be like sleep in a still position, but that's just not me. I change positions throughout the night.
So it was swollen for 2 days, or it just
Yeah.
hurt for? Okay, I didn't know it took that long for the swelling to go down.
It
for a
hurt.
Well, I guess it
bit.
depends on your reaction to it. I guess
it
that's
hurt.
true.
But as far as like mosquito bites, I don't know. I attribute it to a lot of hot sauce, but I usually maybe get a mosquito bite or
really?
2 where we can just be out on our patio, my
Yeah.
wife and I enjoying an evening, and she's like, I am getting torn up. And I'm like, well, let's go inside. That sounds terrible. And I'm looking around. I'm like, I didn't get touched.
Right?
See, as an adult,
And she'll even
yeah.
put on like
Oh,
bug
like
spray
off
and
and all
stuff.
that.
I don't even do that.
See, I've talking about the immunity. I think as an adult, my family has finally become immune to mosquito bites. Because when I
Yeah.
was a kid, when I used to get bit, I would get boiled like.
Oh, you
like,
get welts.
Yeah, it would be the
Huge,
because
like the size of an
It would be
orange.
the size of an orange.
Oh,
all
so
over
you
my
had like an
body.
allergic reaction. You should have probably had an EpiPen.
That was the 90s. There was no
There was no EpiPen?
My
Get up, Sarah.
my body was just doused.
shake it off.
Walk it off.
Yeah, my body was doused
can't
in.
breathe.
My body was just.
Quit playing
My
around.
body was just soaked in alcohol and Caladryl. That was
Yeah.
basically because I mean, and it itches, So that's just how that worked.
Is it
but-
walk it off what they told that kid from My Girl?
Yeah, I
I
think
got
so.
stung by a bee. Walk it off.
Yeah.
Especially got stung in the foot.
Oops.
All right, was that?
It's Alan's turn.
Oh,
to
Alan,
ask a
your turn,
question.
Alan.
Okay,
Yeah.
last question. All right, Dan, this
Yo.
will be for you.
All right.
Okay. Would you rather go whitewater rafting or zip lining? Both very fun.
Man, both are a lot of fun. Whitewater rafting, though.
Yeah?
I've been both.
Okay.
I've done both, but I love, whitewater rafting is my
That's
answer.
I was
tell
like,
me
based
why
on
you
your
would
tubing
think that.
story, I figured
I like,
you were
I like the
choose.
water.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
basically what it boils down to. Is,
Yeah.
I almost would pick that too, but not for that reason, but because whitewater rafting is sort of like a social thing because you're experiencing it with others,
True.
where zip lining's pretty solitary.
yeah, you would think I would like zip lining more. That's true.
I would
but
say
no.
maybe that's why I would prefer ziplining.
Yeah.
I was thinking like I would definitely zipline.
Yeah.
Forget the whitewater rafting.
Huh.
I feel like with white, I feel like you have to have some endurance to do because that whitewater rafting that can be really rough. Kind of like talking about even just with the tubes, and that's kind of
Yeah.
minor compared to.
I
Well,
depends-
if you're whitewater rafting in July, you're okay. If you're whitewater rafting in March,
when the currents are really.
yeah,
Yeah.
when
When
that
everything's melting
snow cap
and-
is really melting off, it can be pretty
Yeah,
It
that
all-
makes sense.
invigorating.
It also depends on how much, like, if you go
Yeah.
on like a group with like a guide or whatever. Usually they're
Oh.
like the ones controlling. You're just like hanging on for dear life.
Yeah.
It's like going. So
Yeah, because I guess I always thought about those. I'm like, oh, that sounds more dangerous than fun.
Just go later in the season, so July and August, and you might get a little bit
During the
of-
drought, you're in a puddle.
Yeah. Well, you're more like cruising down the river. I mean, there's still a current, but it's not
Yeah.
really rough.
we went to one in Colorado and we'd stopped like halfway through where there was some rapids or whatever, and then they let us like get out and you just like
Yeah.
float down the rapids for a little bit, which was kind of fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, in that case, I guess it's water versus heights. With the zip line.
That's
Oh,
like-
the zipline one outside of Manhattan had a fun thing where you could like strap in and just jump off of like the
like-
stand or whatever,
like a bungee
and it would like
zip?
slow you as like you got to the bottom. But it was just like good luck.
Yeah.
It's hard to take that first step to really
Sure.
like jump off of there. So
Yeah.
Well, Colorado's got some good zip lining too,
Yeah?
across canyons and
Oh, I
things
bet
like
that'd be a
that.
lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
You always wonder who had to put that together. I always see that. That's where I think I'm like, okay, it's cool. You're like, wee.
We
just
talk
go
about
down.
a guy attaches a cable with an arrow and then shoots it. That's how it needs to go. Haven't you seen Robin Hood?
Silly me.
that goes back to the Carney thing all over again. That's why I don't like state fairs. Just like who put this together and how long did it take them?
Honestly,
Okay, that's
I wouldn't
true.
want to be the first person to test a zip line after it's up.
That's true.
I would want to be the first person. I would not want to be the third person if it gets like weakened as it goes.
As it goes to, oh, that's true. Yeah, someone has.
It's
to
like,
be
yeah,
the
this is all
first
good.
one.
Yeah, it was good. So you loosened it.
Yeah.
It's like the theory of outrunning the bears. Like I just have to outrun you.
Is that
Yeah.
your slowest friend.
So it's more of like an unzipped line.
Whoops.
Okay. Well, that with a very interesting ending on that. That's our Would You Rather Summer Edition, guys. So
All right.
hopefully you enjoyed that fun.
Would you rather listen to this episode or binge the whole series of Double Stuff
Ooh,
Podcast?
What a question, Charity.
Yes.
We'll leave it up to you, the listeners, to decide. So if you choose to binge listen, then just check us out on doublestuffpod.com. All of our newest episodes, of course, on all the podcast platforms. And if you so desire, you can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Double Stuff Podcast, and of course on Twitter at Double Stuff P, and that's the letter P.